All right, Boys Incorporated Podcast, episode 33. Got Nate here with me, and we've got some things to discuss.
Every time I just kind of guess the number and I'm always wrong.
I mean, the only reason I get it right is because I'm looking at it. I just looked at the last episode and it was 32.
Okay.
So we're good. So I got a couple of things for us to talk about, and I feel like there's one that I got to do just to clear the air.
Okay.
This one's going to be super important. It's the trial of the century.
Okay.
We're going to have to talk about the trial of the century. You have any idea which trial?
Trial? I'm trying to think about what's been going on.
Any?
Fuck.
Any?
Is this the fucking? I didn't hear word of a trial yet, but does it have to do with what's his face? Shit. This fucking sicko mode guy.
Oh no, you're actually way closer than I thought, though. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not Travis Scott.
Okay.
No,
yeah, I just heard about the fucking Astroworld.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we can talk about that later too. I'm sure everyone listening is like, "Oh, you mean the Kyle Rittenhouse trial? The who? Fuck no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Cardi B trial.
There's a Cardi B trial?
There's probably gonna be one.
It's just like the whole her drugging men thing.
No, this is a separate incident.
Of course it's not.
Okay. Yeah, of course not. No, so this is actually an old event that is still going. Like, I don't know how they've dragged it out this long. I think it's like COVID or something. But back in 2018, she got into this little incident, we'll call it, where
2018.
Yeah, back in 2018, she got into this little incident where her husband, who's a rapper by the name of Offset, apparently, yeah, I didn't either until I heard this story. I had never heard of Offset before, but if anyone listening likes rap, it's Offset. That's who her husband is. I think they actually got like divorced or separated or some shit at some point, but she thought that her husband had cheated on her with this like bartender that works at this strip club in New York, I think.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, she thought that's what was going down. So then she decided to message some of her friends like, "Hey, let's go beat the shit out of them. Let's go kick the shit out of the bartender." So then I've seen some reports that say she went, others say that just her friends went, but basically they went and started throwing chairs and bottles around in there and injuring people. And then they got charged. They got charged with some shit. And they decided, like, the prosecutors decided to try to give her a plea deal where they said, "Hey, we don't really want to bring this to trial, so if you plead guilty, we'll make sure you don't get any jail time. Right? We'll make sure you stay out of prison. You'll probably have like house arrest or some shit, or like community service." And she was like, "No. Fuck that. No." So they're like, "Are you sure?" So then I think like her trial kept getting moved back because COVID or whatever. Because it looked like they were going to charge her like in late 2019. So it's like it flipped over to 2020 and then shit got pushed back. So they kept this deal open for a while, but right now, I think like a couple months ago they were saying like, "Hey, we might just pull this deal because we keep giving it to you and you keep refusing it. Like, we're just gonna fucking prosecute you then." And one of the things is they were bringing misdemeanor charges, so they were bringing just like the lower class of charge that you can get. So it's like the punishment probably wouldn't be that bad, but then they went to like a grand jury or whatever to decide on the charges, and they actually upgraded them to felonies.
Jesus, man.
They upgraded them to felonies and then said, "All right, we'll give you the deal again. This time you'll get hit with a misdemeanor, but you still won't get any jail time." And they still said no. Her lawyers were like, "No, we don't want that shit." So right now she is, I believe, awaiting trial for that. Where That's basically how it goes. And I'm really on the edge of my seat for this one, because if she goes to jail, I will have no content. What the fuck am I supposed to do if she goes to jail? That's like all I talk about.
Yeah, she's not gonna do shit anymore.
Yeah,
public shit.
She won't be able to do anything funny anymore. Like, I won't be. This podcast will have to just end. It'll be like, final episode. Cardi got fucking locked up. Like, it's over. Go home.
Run of material.
Exactly. I was like, I can't be funny. I need Cardi B to do it. I need her to do it for me. So, yeah, I've been rooting for her there. Yeah, so I can scratch that one off the list. So, another interesting thing that happened. This is like, I believe maybe in a previous episode we were talking about. This could have just been like privately or with someone else, I don't remember. But like, I'm only 20, but I still feel old as fuck. Like, especially talking to people like my brother's age, right? My brother's like a couple years younger than me.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they'll do shit, and I'll be like, these fucking damn kids. These damn whippersnappers doing stupid shit, acting a fool in the neighborhood, being hoodlums.
Well, it's the TikTok is the biggest separator for me. Like, I'm finally at the point where I don't understand trends anymore.
Shit.
Like, I'll hear a song and I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? And everybody around me is like, oh, it's TikTok. I'm like, I don't fucking go on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm still hanging on to that. I actually do really like TikTok, so I've been able to keep up mostly, but they'll do some shit and I'm like, what the fuck? I just heard one.
A little too gay for me.
Yeah, I just heard one thing happen recently that it was the ultimate, like, black pill. It was the ultimate, like, give up all hope, we are the last good generation. It stopped, like, with us. So I regret.
Yeah, I guess.
I regret to inform you, but if you were born after 2001 or 2002, it's over. It's over for you. We were the last good ones.
Are we safe?
Yes. Yeah. We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine. I'm saying if you were born after like 2002.
After us.
Yeah. After 2002 is like, you are a part of like the doomed generation. You're a part of the fucked generation.
I don't know. You would be surprised how many guys at my school in my dorm building, like specifically, have painted fingernails.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's worse. It is worse than just the painted fingernails. I think the painted fingernails are goofy, but I don't think it's like...
It's so fucking annoying.
It's super weird, but I don't think it's like the worst thing ever. I don't think that means they're doomed. I do have a piece of information that all but confirms it, honestly. So... recently, the school board, the school district that we live in, was having they were having this meeting about anti-bullying. Okay, they were trying to get a bunch of teachers and parents together virtually, like, to, discuss how to curb bullying and how to stop all the bullying that's taking place in the schools. My mom went to one of these just to, like, give her 2 cents on the issue or whatever. And she was telling me about it, and holy shit, is it bad.
Yeah, I've been to a school board meeting. They're rough.
I mean, okay, she was telling me what they thought was, like, bullying. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it is rough.
Oh my god. Like, so the piece of information that just broke my sanity completely was she was saying that there was a parent there that was saying that their child was being bullied going to the middle school, right? So this one was at the middle school. They said their child would walk to school every day, and on the way into school, by the front door, there's a group of kids, like, camped out there. And there are a bunch of emo kids. There are a bunch of black, like, fingernail painted, having, dyed hair, fishnet glove legging wearing ass emos.
Right.
That are standing outside the school, and when someone tries to go in the front door, they bark at them. The emo kids begin barking at people like dogs. And that is what passed as bullying. Someone was walking into school and a bunch of emos started barking at them. And they're like, I'm getting bullied.
Right. My sister was in our school's Republicans Club.
Okay.
Because that was like a thing. And the day after the election, she walked into school.
Oh, no.
And people she didn't even know. This was after the 2016 election.
Yeah.
Not the 2020. Like, this was like the real dead one. People she didn't even know were like calling her a cunt and like threatening to slap her.
Oh my
all
God.
this crazy shit.
Jesus.
And my parents went to the school board because of that.
Yeah.
And now it's because of barking.
Yeah, it's because emo kids bark at you.
Okay.
And then they deduced that it was basically a TikTok trend to do that. And that's why they were doing it. And they need to try to come up with some sort of solution. How do we stop the emo kids from barking at people? They're bullying people by doing that. How do we stop that?
I hate people.
Yeah, so immediately, like, my reaction was just roast them back. They're emos. What the fuck are they going to do about it?
You could take them physically.
Yeah. They're all
No
anorexic,
match.
bro. Like, come on. No, I mean, like, just make fun of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, if they're
That's not
barking
hard.
at you, just be like, hey, oh, that's cool. But, like, for real, though, let me see your wrists and see if I can, like, barcode scan them.
Ye-
Like, oh, those are really cool dog noises. Now show me a picture of your dad.
Anne Frank called She Wants Her Burns Back.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's really not, like, you just shit talk them. Like, they're not, it's really not complicated. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it at all. So that was, like, how I probably would have resolved the situation, is just tell them to go fuck themselves, basically. Like, all right, well, fuck off. I'm going to school. Kill yourself. Oh, wait. You're already planning it.
Let's speed it up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Can we hit fast forward on that? Thanks. I'd really appreciate that. The school had some other ideas, though.
Oh, okay.
So the
Let's hear 'em.
school had proposed, I believe there were two main ideas. The first one was that apparently this is also a problem for, like, I guess this individual person going between classes, right? So they'll also walk between classes when the bell rings, and they'll still get barked at in the hallway. So the school said, I got it. We got you with this. We'll just let you leave class like a couple minutes early and walk to your next class
God.
between periods.
To avoid it?
Yup.
To avoid the barking.
Yep, we're just going to let you dip out of class like 2-3 minutes early so that way you can walk to your next class and not get bothered. Never mind having to explain to both teachers and everyone in that, like, in both of your classes, why you're always so, like why you're always there early and why you're always leaving earlier than everyone else. Like, you would get bullied for that.
Yeah.
Like, if
It draws more attention.
if I was like, hey, teacher, sorry, but I gotta leave 3 minutes early because if I don't, all these emos are gonna bark at me and I'm gonna want to kill myself. Like, and just do that every day. Dude, I would not be able to make eye contact with anyone in that class. It would be over.
Fucking novice.
Yeah,
Don't even need emos barking at me to want to kill myself.
exactly.
I'm already on that shit.
Well, I mean, if they did bark at me, I would want to kill myself, but it's from cringe. It's like, I can't believe, like, you're actually participating in this outside of the house.
Yeah, it's a rough one on there.
You were in public behaving like this. That's incredible. Like, I can't believe that.
That's incredible.
I
got some balls.
I didn't believe it at first. It's that incredible. I was like, this claim literally lacks credibility. No, this is impossible. And it's like, no, it did happen. It's corroborated. I was like, motherfucker, I can't believe it. So, okay.
I haven't been hearing shit about our school district because my younger sister doesn't go there anymore.
Yeah.
So my parents used to bitch about it all the time, but they don't ever since I left.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't worry. They didn't magically get better as soon as your sister left. It still sucks. Your sister isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed to be getting worse as time went on. But
it's not like your parents stopped complaining because it magically got better.
No.
It's just they don't care.
I would assume it's much worse.
Yeah. So
last time I went to one of the school board meetings, one of the members had like pink hair or some stupid shit. So
yeah, I think there was one school board member who had like crazy pink dyed hair or whatever, and was saying we needed to get the resource officers out of school, like the cops. God. We need to get them out of school because it's making kids feel unsafe.
Dude, those kids were armed.
I know, dude, and like
it's like 20% of the student population is strapped. We need a fucking police officer.
Yeah, you don't think one cop is unreasonable? You think one is too many? Really? That's fucking.
Does
crazy.
he even count?
No, of course not.
The one that we had?
No, not really. I mean, listen, did I think
he would like alcoholic?
Did he save my life? Do I think he would save my life? Probably not. But like,
he was an alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just peace of mind, honestly. Like, just because I don't think that he will doesn't mean that everyone doesn't think that he will. And they're like, yeah, we need to get all of the cops out of the schools. We don't need cops in schools. And it's like, so
we do.
When two big ass seniors are getting into a fist fight,
who's gonna break it up?
Who do you propose we send to break it up? Because I've witnessed like 5'2", like middle-aged women trying to break those fights up. They don't get very far.
No.
They really don't have a lot of leverage in that situation. I've seen like big seniors like fighting each other and they have nothing. And it's like usually like a security guard or something will run up and like break it apart, but should we get rid of them too? Like, oh no, it's a law enforcement officer. Get him the fuck out of here. He doesn't make me feel safe. I feel way safer with a security guard, honestly.
Yeah,
like
as you should.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of his whole job.
A good job.
Yeah. Seen plenty of fights get broken up by like security guards or the cops. I've seen cops like tackle people while they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, perfect. He's literally doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Great. You're like, yeah, let's get rid of that. So it's not like they're just swimming in great ideas. But this next one might prove us wrong though, because they had a second idea for what to advise to this person that was being bullied by the pack of emos. And I think this one really takes the cake. This one, they said, okay, well, when you're walking between classes, how about we like send an aide to walk with you? They said
he gets an escort.
Yep, they said we'll send a school aide to walk you between your classes so that the emos don't bark at you. Not so that you don't get attacked, because no one's attacking you. But like, oh, that would solve the problem. You're walking between classes and you just have an aide following you around looking for anyone with painted black fingernails, like fucking on alert. Oh my God.
Right. Is she strapped?
I would assume not.
Okay.
So
she can like euthanize them.
Yeah, I would assume probably not. I do agree that euthanasia is probably the best course of action in that situation.
Just put down the emo.
Just put them down on the spot. Like, honestly. Listen, if you're gonna bark like a dog, I should be able to kill you like one.
God.
It's really that simple. I say the same thing about furries. If you want to be an animal so bad, it shouldn't be that bad if I want to hunt you.
Yeah.
So, my mom was telling me that, those are their solutions. I was like, have they tried maybe like hanging a sign on this person, or like maybe perhaps like painting something on their back, maybe in like the shape of a target?
Don't bark on her.
Maybe in the shape of a target, they just paint that onto you to signify that everyone should leave you alone. Because that's what having an aide following you around would do. It would definitely just paint a target on you. It would just make it worse, honestly. That's not solving any of your problems.
So retarded.
Aid there. Yep. They will continue shit talking you when the aid's not there. Or maybe when the aid is there. What's the aid gonna do? Hey, stop that. No.
Yeah, really, what's the game plan there?
Yeah. Hey, don't bark at him. I'm gonna keep doing that because you can't make me stop.
What are you gonna do? Bark back?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck are you gonna do about it, bitch?
I already claimed barking.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my move.
I mean, everyone knows that you beat bark with bite. You fight bark with bite. But like I doubt she's gonna bite them. That would really assert dominance though. Can you imagine they just had a rabid school aide following you around? And someone runs up and barks at you, and she just runs up and just like bites them in the neck. She just chomps their face like, holy shit, oh my god. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I heard about that and I was like, well, it's over. All of the future generations are fucked. If that's what's going on in schools as early as like middle school, it's done. It's done. It's over. We can pack it up. Humanity, we've had an okay run. Our generation is the finale now, so get used to that. I guess it's gonna be like
finale.
We're not quite the finale because humanity will keep going past us, but we're gonna be the last one where it was like good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like probably like season 7 or 8 of The Simpsons when it's still good before it becomes like just trash.
Yeah,
like that's our generation. Honestly, it's like it's still good, but like anything after that is like I don't know about all that. So that was a disappointing pill that I had to swallow last week. So speaking of things that happened last week, remember we were talking about Walter Raleigh.
Oh yeah.
And how I was saying like I want that to be like a segment on the show as we just talk about some fucking crazy historical figures.
Yeah.
I came up with a name for it. I came up with a little name for this segment. Tell me what you think. Considering everyone that we would do it about is kind of a Sigma male, I figured I could call it Big Sig Energy.
I like it.
So I figured to cement it, why not do another one this week?
Okay.
So this week I come to you with Walter Raleigh was like an older example of a Sigma male. He was like probably the earliest. Then in the other guy, the I guess the prequel, the pilot, that was Jean-Claude. He was like back in the I think like the 80s or something. So he's not like it's not recent. So I figured this week we could do one that's like the Sigma of our generation, like the Sigma of our time. So I figured who better to sort of exemplify being a fucking true Sigma male of our generation than John McAfee.
Ooh. Yeah.
So I was watching some documentaries and shit about John McAfee earlier in preparation for this episode, and that dude was a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
So I figured I would talk about him for a little bit in the Big Sig Energy segment. So let's.
I only really know the Clinton overlap.
Yeah. So all right, let me break it down. So I'm not super familiar, and his Wikipedia page is not nearly as interesting as Walter Raleigh's was. So this is more based off like documentaries and shit I saw. So I guess the need to know points would be, so John McAfee, he's going to, I guess the first instance of him being like a true Sigma would be when he got to college. Like, people don't know a whole lot about his early life before college anyway, so I figure this would be a great place to start. So he started young. He started as an entrepreneur really young. Okay, he got to college and figured the best way to pay for college and get himself through it would be to be an entrepreneur. And he decided to sell stuff. And the stuff that he decided to sell was the one thing that, like, everyone would need, and you would just be able to keep selling to them over and over and over. So he paid his way through college by selling cocaine.
Okay.
So he started off strong.
I thought it was going to be porn.
No, he was selling cocaine. And he actually admitted to that too. He like said like that's how he fucking made money in college, was selling coke. And they're like, the soda? And he's like, no, not the soda.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah. It's you thought. No, it's cocaine. So after that, he sort of gets really into doing drugs, and he becomes an alcoholic. And he gets a job, and I believe the job was he would use computers to essentially set like train schedules. So he would be like scheduling when trains get to certain stations and shit. And I believe they found out that he would like get really fucking high on LSD like every day before he came to work.
Nice.
Which is just a great image, honestly. It's like the dude that is scheduling all of the public transit is just fucking tripping balls. Like,
God.
He's just hallucinating at the computer. That's comforting. And then I think they fired him as soon as they found out he was doing all that LSD and shit. So he had to get a new job, and I think he bounced around a while. He worked at Lockheed Martin for some amount of time, which is fucking crazy. I didn't know that you could just get a job like that.
Yeah.
That seems like you can't just like roll up and be like, yeah, my only previous job was I scheduled trains and I got fired for being on LSD at work. And they're like, this sounds great. We're going to hire you. You got the job. Thank you. What was your name again?
Jesus.
So he worked there briefly. Not like nothing super interesting happens. And then he decides to, I think, quit or he gets fired or something. And then he starts his company. And that's where the antivirus came from. So he started this company, and this is like in the early days of computers, where I think there were only like 12 computer viruses total, like in the world. So he decided, fuck it. People now need to protect themselves from viruses. I'm going to make McAfee antivirus. And then he basically got it started by making it free for personal use, so you could just download that shit whenever you wanted. But he like charged a fuck ton when licensing it to companies. So that's how he actually made money. Was it would cost like companies like millions to license it. And like tons of companies wanted it. Like tons of like Fortune 500, like huge companies were all running McAfee antivirus. So he made a fuck ton of money off that. He became like stupid rich. But eventually they start, like in the company, they basically start wrestling control away from him. And they basically ostracize him from the company to a point where he doesn't have a whole lot of say. So then he just decides, fuck it, I'm done with this company. So he sells all of his stock and just like cleans his hands of the situation. And that turned into, I believe when he sold the stocks, I think that made him $100 million. Something like that. Like a fuck ton of money.
What the fuck?
So this dude now has $100 million, give or take, in the bank. And like no job. So he's like, fuck it, I can kind of just do whatever I want, and I'm kind of a psycho. So he decides to just do some psycho shit. So first off, he decides to move to Belize. So he goes from living in America to Belize, which you're not an idiot if you don't know where that was. I felt the same thing when I saw it earlier. It's in the Caribbean.
Okay. So
it's a Caribbean island, basically. So he moves there and lives on the beach for a while. But I think he gets bored, like most rich people do. So then he decides to do some truly like Bond villain-esque shit. He decides to buy some property more inland where the jungle is. So he's no longer located on the beach. And he builds like what could only be described as a compound. And in the compound, he says he's going to do research on like naturally occurring like plants that you could use as pharmaceuticals. And he hired like scientists to come man this place. so that they could basically research a bunch of plants to turn them into medicine.
Okay.
So not only does he hire that, but he's got a lot of money, so he also hires a gang of like super hot women to just be his harem, like that he keeps like at this lab compound thing. So he's just got like a group of women that he just fucks regularly. And then he also decided to hire a bunch of ex-felons, and he armed them to protect the compound. And they're all like his bodyguards. So now he's living in the jungle in Belize with a bunch of scientists and like essentially hookers and armed felons as his like defense. So I think it was like the government of Belize or whatever wasn't like super happy about that. So they, according to John, they tried to like basically solicit a bribe where they were like, hey, if you want us to keep like looking the other way, you're going to have to pay us. And he's like, fuck that. I don't want to do that. So a couple days later, after he refused to bribe them into secrecy, they raided his compound. Like they sent a bunch of like drug agents to go raid his compound on the charges of like, oh, we suspect that he's making drugs in there, which is like not super off base actually, considering he was a drug dealer and he's in the jungle making a bunch of plant things. So they search the whole compound and actually don't find any drugs. I don't know how they didn't find any, because I'm like almost certain there would be some there, but they didn't find any. But they were basically like, all right, you can't keep doing this. So he said, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to move back to that beachfront house then. So he moves back to the house, but continues having the armed guards and actually brings back a pack of wild dogs from the jungle. There's like 9 of them. So now he's living back in the beachfront property, but he has a literal gang of armed guys and a pack of wild dogs that he keeps on his property. Just to, I don't know, keep him safe. Just crazy rich guy things. And this is where it starts to get like really ridiculous. Like if it wasn't already ridiculous, it's like about to get even more insane. So the thing is, it's not like this was like a secluded beachfront area. It's like he had neighbors. Like there were people that lived like close to him. So there's one dude that was his neighbor. His name was Greg Fall. And Greg Fall fucking hated living next to the wild dogs.
Okay.
Like, what an asshole. You hate having random dogs accost you whenever you try to get to your house? What are you, some kind of bitch? Like, wild dogs that no one is caring for? And then he tells, like, John, he's like, bro, control your fucking dogs. And he's like, no. He's like, lol XD, no. So then Greg decides to come up with this scheme to kill his dogs. Because that's obviously the next step is neighbor moves in with a pack of wild dogs. You asked him politely to take care of them and he didn't. So you're just going to fucking kill all of them.
Jeez.
Like that's just clearly step 2. So he devises this plan where he gets a bunch of meat and poisons it and then throws it over the fence into like McAfee's yard or whatever where the dogs are. And all of the dogs eat it and die. All 9 of them are dead. So then John finds out that all of his dogs are dead. And no one's really exactly sure what happened next, but the next day the neighbor was dead. Like the neighbor's just dead in his house and there's no signs of forced entry. So everyone immediately is like, John, why the fuck did you kill him? And he's like, I didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with this guy being murdered. It was a freak random occurrence. And they're like, the day after he murdered all of your dogs, he just turns up dead and you're his neighbor. You live right next to him. He's like, yes, that's exactly what happened. So I believe it was the government in Belize is trying to basically charge him for murder there. So he has to get the fuck out of Belize. So he fucks off back to America. Because I don't think America will extradite you to Belize. And little side note, this is going to get a little out of order chronologically, but it's more like pertinent here. They were talking to one of the documentary people was talking to one of the armed guards that McAfee had, and they're like, "Yo, so like really what happened with the murder though?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, McAfee paid some guy $5,000 to go in there and ice that dude. He paid a guy $5,000 to go in and murder his neighbor for killing his dogs." And this guy says that, he says that in the documentary. But then, after the documentary drops, John McAfee uploads a video to his personal YouTube channel with the same guy that was in the documentary. And the guy's like, "Yeah, I just made that up because the documentary people said they'd give me $10,000 for my testimony."
Jesus.
So that didn't actually happen. I just made that up because they said they'd pay me. And $10,000 is a lot of money in Belize. He's like, that money can get you really far, and I just figured if I gave some shitty testimony, they wouldn't pay me, so I just made that up. That didn't actually happen. So, after the murder, that he may or may not have committed, John McAfee goes back to the United States, and I guess he can't get extradited or something, and we're getting pretty close to modern day now, and I believe it's like 2016. Call back to the 2016 election. John McAfee decides to run for president.
In 2016, he did?
Yes. In 2016, John McAfee ran for president.
How far did he make it? I don't remember this.
He was trying to get the nomination for a Libertarian Party.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't get very far because he didn't even get the nomination, and Libertarian Party loses like every time.
Yeah.
So he didn't get very far, but he tried. He was a presidential candidate. He loses that election, whatever, and then gets really into cryptocurrency. He gets like super into cryptocurrency. And he starts doing this thing where every day he will just tweet like, "These are the cryptocurrencies that I'm looking at because I think they have a lot of potential. Like, this is what I would buy," whatever. And he starts putting up a lot of videos on social media and shit. And he's like super libertarian, so he comes from the school of thought that taxes are theft. Which is like just incredibly based, honestly. He's like, income tax? Fuck that. I don't want income tax. So he says, fuck it, I'm not paying them taxes. He says no to the taxes.
Mm.
So the IRS is like, "Hey, all right, it's time to pay," and he just goes no. So they're trying to build this case against him, and he basically goes onto his social media and says like multiple times like, "You guys should just stop paying taxes. What are they gonna do? Throw you in jail? They haven't thrown me in jail. I haven't paid my taxes in years."
Fucking great.
Like, he's just telling everyone that he's not paying his taxes, like, repeatedly. Like, admitting to committing tax fraud, essentially. So the IRS gets really upset at that, and they charge him with a bunch of IRS fraud-related, like, crimes. So they charge him, like, his wife, and, like, a couple of his campaign managers from when he was running for president. So they charge all of them with a bunch of IRS-related felonies. And John McAfee says, "Well, I've been charged with other crimes before, and what did I do? I simply left. So that's what I'm going to do now." So then he leaves again. He leaves the United States saying, "Fuck you, I don't care." And I believe he goes to Cuba. So he's now chilling in Cuba. He's wanted in 2 countries. And he's like, "Fuck it, I'm not going back." I think the Cuban government actually like was willing to extradite him though. Right? So they were willing to like, okay, if we arrest him, we'll send him back to the United States to get like to get prosecuted. So they end up like arresting him in Cuba. But he's like, "Dude, I've already come this far. There's no going back now. I got to double down." So rather than just like being arrested, he decides to fake having a heart attack. So he pretends to have a heart attack, and they start getting him to the hospital. And while he's basically on his way to the hospital, his lawyer shows up and manages to like basically bail him out. And he's able to get the fuck away, and I think he gets to like Spain. I think he escapes to Spain. So he's now wanted in 3 countries. He's now wanted in Belize, the United States, and Cuba.
Jesus, man.
So then he's fucking around in Spain for a while, and I believe while he was in Spain, I think it was while he was in Spain, the timeline might be a little fucked up here, but he, while he was in Spain, I think that's when the Jeffrey Epstein thing happened, where Jeffrey Epstein, was suicided in jail.
Yeah.
So that happened. And,
that whole thing.
And John McAfee was like, well, I'm a rich, powerful guy that has a lot of dirt on the political elite. So what if they try to kill me? He goes, I know what I'll do. So he goes out and he gets a tattoo on his arm that has a $sign, and then it just says whacked.
Yeah, I remember hearing about
So he gets the schwacked tattoo, basically saying like, just so you know, if I die in prison, I didn't kill myself, I was murdered. Like, he said that. Like, he's like, that's what this tattoo means. He's like, if I ever get locked up, I will not kill myself. I won't do it.
Right.
So he gets the schwacked tattoo, and I think at this point he gets even more charges from the IRS, but it doesn't matter, because they apparently were upset at his crypto thing with the... They're like, oh, he's clearly just pumping and dumping crypto on Twitter. Like, what the fuck?
Jesus.
So he's hiding out in Spain, and I think eventually they find him in Spain and arrest him there. And he's in jail waiting to be extradited. And like the day after they got the news to like, oh, you're going to be extradited back to the United States, you're going to face trial, he was found dead in his cell, and they said it was probably suicide, which I do not buy it for a second. Not 1 second.
Yeah.
I don't believe it at all.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I don't. I've seen people that are like, well, you know, he did just receive news that he was being extradited, and it's like, well, first off, he said he wouldn't commit suicide in prison. He has the schwacked tattoo, and also they asked his wife afterward and said, hey, like, do you think it was the news that he was getting extradited back to the United States that like made him super sad and he killed himself? And she was like, no, we both expected that to happen. Like, neither of us were surprised when that happened. We both knew that was going to happen. Like, we had plans.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I think he was probably murdered if I had to bet. Especially because he was talking shit on Twitter too, where he was posting shit like, if I do get killed, I have 31 terabytes of incriminating evidence that will release because I've given it to people all over the world to release it, and like none of it has come out yet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to think about that. Was he just lying about that? Like, was he trolling, or like did he actually just
a troll?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a troll, but at the same time, like, I don't know. None of the other things were trolls. He was a crazy guy, but like, I don't know. He may have had dirt on people. It's not impossible. So that's the rabbit hole I fell down earlier today. I was just reading about John McAfee being a fucking madman. And he maintained that he never killed his neighbor. And that's like what kicked all this bullshit off to begin with anyway.
Yeah, the only part I knew about that was the whole fucking the tattoo and how he said like, I'm not gonna kill myself. If I'm dead, I was killed.
Yeah. Yeah, which is fucking crazy that a guy can be like, hey, everyone, I'm not suicidal. I'm actually very happy in jail. And I have a tattoo that says, like, if I die and they call it a suicide, I was murdered. I'm not suicidal. And then he turns up dead in prison and they're like, it was suicide. Like,
God.
I think it's such bullshit that they said it was suicide too. It's like, dude, you could have lied and called it something else. You could have been like, it was natural causes. You could have been like, he actually did have a heart attack this time. Like, He was like 75 when he died, and like he had a history of drug use. Like it's not like he was a super healthy guy. It's not like he was some fucking world-class athlete in fucking top shape. Like, no, he was an old guy. Like, if you were like, oh, he died of a stroke or something, it's like that would have been more believable. I don't know if I totally would have bought it, but I would have bought it more than it was suicide. That's kind of some bullshit.
Yeah.
So there's one detail I forgot to mention earlier too, which was probably one of my favorite funny details about it, which is just like what a total Sigma male this guy is. So essentially, while he was, I think in Belize, I think it was when he was in Belize, when he still had all that fuck ton of money, he kept being sued by people, like basically for these like frivolous bullshit lawsuits just to try to get at his money. I can think it was just like stupid like slip and fall shit, like really low tier lawsuits claiming like way too much money. And his solution to that was like just basically spend all my money like a fucking idiot so they have nothing to take when they sue me. So he spends all his money on a bunch of houses and a bunch of like, I think he owned like several planes and like all kinds of ridiculous rich people shit. I think he had like a dinosaur skull or some shit in his house.
It's fucking awesome.
I know, this dude's the fucking best. So then,
what a fucking dinosaur skull.
Yeah, so then at some point in the chronology, he's like, shit, I spent all my money on drugs and hookers and dinosaur bones, so I actually have none left and I need to auction off a bunch of my shit. So he auctions off like a bunch of his planes and like the dinosaur skull and like I think a house or two or whatever. And they're like, oh, so you're broke now, right? And he's like, yeah. But then later he revealed like, no, I actually wasn't broke. I just wanted to auction off all my shit so it looked like I was broke so people would stop suing me. He was like, no, I'm not actually poor. I still have tons of money. It's just people keep suing me, and it's really annoying that I have to keep this lawyer on retainer to basically cock slap them and be like, no, stop. Yeah. This is nonsense. So what if they all just think I don't have the money? They'd stop suing me. And they did.
Nice.
Everyone's like, fuck it. I'm all right. He's poor. Why would I sue him? He just sold his airplane. No rich guy just sells his airplane. Not unless you had to. So that was one of my fucking favorite details. I was like, that truly is like the Sigma male move. Everyone keeps suing you because you're rich. Hide all your money, continue being rich, but make them think you're poor. Fucking galaxy brain. I fucking love that guy. He's a fucking character. I'm still amazed that like no one else has like looked into that either. Then again, no one really looked into the Jeffrey Epstein thing either, which is like way more important, honestly.
Oh yeah.
That's like,
well, that one was even more egregious too.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like, there's no fucking way he wasn't killed by the Clintons.
There's no way they didn't send someone in there to fucking murder that guy. Like, there's no way he just decided to kill himself. Like, and I also like that everyone just sort of skims over the beginning of that story. They're like, Jeffrey Epstein, this rich guy that owned a pedophile island, he killed himself in jail. It's like, wait, stop. A what? He owned a what?
A what island?
A pedophile island. The fuck is that? He owned a private island where he basically kept a bunch of underage girls as sex slaves, and no one really gave a shit about it, even now. It's like, what?
Yeah, I didn't hear what happened to them. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I just heard that the island went up for auction or some shit. Like, they changed the name and auctioned it off or something. Like, that's it? Really? Are you fucking kidding? That's insane. And then they're like, yeah, so the guy that had the pedophile island where all of the world's elite liked to go on vacation, apparently. It's like, wait, all of the world's elite are pedophiles? It's like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, maybe. Like, stop asking. Like, fucking...
like most politicians.
Yeah, it's like, every fucking politician ever, apparently, was on this island.
Frequents there.
Yeah, it's like, dude, every single politician ever, apparently, goes to this fucking island. It's just a politician magnet. Every fucking important person on the planet has been on this dude's plane at least once.
Joe Biden just gotta go down there and sniff some people's granddaughters.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, bro, come on. Just let him off the hook, all right? It's fine. Who cares? But he's like, he has a pedophile island that all these politicians keep going to. They finally managed to get him in jail, and like within a week, all of the security cameras in his cell magically stop working for 5 minutes, and he kills himself while he's on suicide watch. And everyone's like, yeah, no, that dude was definitely murdered, and like nothing is done about it. No one cares. Everyone's like, yeah, of course the global elite killed that guy. And then that's it. That's where it stops. They're like, well, fuck it, it's done. And then they did it again to John McAfee. Unacceptable. I can't tell which one I'm more upset about. Because Epstein had way more incriminating dirt, but like, he was also a scumbag. Right? It's like, Epstein, it's like, I wish he had like given his fucking testimony and indicted everyone and then was killed.
Right.
Like, I'm not against killing pedophiles. Like, that's fine. Whereas, like, John McAfee was really killed, like, for no reason, I feel like. Because none of the incriminating evidence came out. I think he was killed because he trolled too hard. I think all of the fucking rich people in the world actually bought that he did have, like, terabytes of incriminating evidence and just killed him reflexively before they even checked. This dude actually trolled himself to death. So I guess that does actually make it suicide then.
Yeah.
In a roundabout kind of way, John McAfee actually did kill himself by antagonizing people that would come murder him. That's kind of suicide, like... Yeah, wait a minute, because, like, if someone does something really stupid, like, knowing that it's, like, a bad idea and they die, like, that's kind of suicide. Like, if you run around in a lightning storm, like, with a bunch of metal taped to your body, like, and you get hit by lightning and die, it's like, well, that was basically suicide.
Yeah.
Like, you knew that you would probably die and you still did it. So, like, So is, like, telling the global elite that you have terabytes upon terabytes of incriminating evidence on them, and then they kill you in jail, is that suicide? Because then in that case, I will believe that it's suicide. I will believe that story.
If we're going by, like... Yeah, okay. I get it.
Yeah, cosmically, he did kill himself.
Yeah.
It was really just like a Shakespearean kind of suicide, where it's like, he didn't...
It's like a Deus Ex Machina kind of...
He didn't directly, like, end his own life, but he did cause a series of events to happen that did kill him. It's like if you were born and then you hit... Like, as soon as you were born, you triggered a fucking ridiculously elaborate Rube Goldberg-esque machine to kill you when you're, like, 70. Like, that's still kind of suicide. Like, it's just some big fucking contraption wired up to your house that will, like, blow it up in 70 years.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably what he did. So yeah, alright, you know what? Fine. I'll rule his death as suicide, but, like, suicide by proxy. He didn't actually hang himself, someone hanged him, but it was, like, basically on his orders. Like, he basically ordered them to kill him.
Yeah.
Rip to my man's John.
Up the menu.
He trolled too hard. He trolled the global elite so hard they killed him. I think that's where I actually, like, sit on this. So, yeah, I guess that was, I guess that was this week's Big Sig Energy. I still gotta have Joey on to talk about Jean-Claude, because he tells that story way better than I do. And that's, like, basically what birthed this segment anyway. So, I definitely gotta let him get the credit for, bringing this up. But I actually really think, like, it'd be a good idea to do more of these. I think these are good. I think these are good ideas. So I want to keep doing more. So I'm going to come up with some new ideas and probably do them again in later episodes. I have a couple people that I'm basically vetting right now, where it's like, is your life story crazy enough to be a Sigma male on my podcast. Time to find out. So, if you've got anyone you want to suggest, let me know. Anyone in the comments think there's a guy that like has a hilarious life story. You want me to tell it on the podcast? I will fucking look into it.
Yeah, I don't actually have any. So
yeah, I got you.
Whatever they got.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to like find some because it's like there's not many people that are like in this tier of Sigma. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be especially built different to live a life like these three guys.
I mean, Bowie's earlier years were a bit Sigma.
Okay.
Not like that level of Sigma, but like a little Sigma.
I don't think he actually killed anyone. Contrary to what Bohemian Rhapsody would have me believe, I don't think he actually just killed a man.
You want to take another crack at that one, bud?
What do you mean? I know Bohemian Rhapsody is Queen, but him and Freddie Mercury were like best friends.
Okay.
I know that's a Queen song, but like there are other Queen songs where it's like you kind of have to credit David Bowie like fucking Under Pressure. That's David Bowie and Queen.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sure David Bowie was somewhat involved in the writing of Bohemian Rhapsody. There's no way he wasn't involved at all, right? Like, there's no way that he had just nothing to do with that. They were pretty
closely involved.
I mean, I was going to say, there were rumors that they fucked, right? Like, there were rumors that, like, David Bowie and
well, do you know the Mick Jagger story? That's even worse. Not worse, just, like, more insane, I guess.
Oh, I feel like I may have heard it, but tell it anyway.
Because, like, he's not openly gay, Mick Jagger, as far as I know. But there's, like, a story where Angie came home. And the fucking cleaning woman was like, don't go upstairs. He's with somebody.
Oh.
And she's like, what the fuck? And she's pissed. So, of course, she goes upstairs. And she sees David Bowie run out the back door.
Shit, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they were all fucking and, like, writing music. But, like, I don't know, I feel like were they maybe just like playing checkers? Were Mick Jagger and David Bowie just having a boys' night and like
they were in their PJs?
Yeah, they were just like drawing and coloring books.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they were just goofing off, having lighthearted shenanigans. Meanwhile, everyone else is like, they must have been fucking. Meanwhile, it's like they're just pillow talking. They're like they're both just laying in bed like, what you thinking about? It's like there's nothing sexual about them at all. Like there's zero sexuality in this relationship. They're just super good friends. David Bowie was getting his hair braided like
braiding his mullet.
Yeah, the braided mullet. Dude, you would have no idea the amount of pussy and or dick that the braided mullet can get you. Incredible. God damn. Yeah, no, David Bowie, I should look into him because I've only heard crazy shit about him.
Yeah. He had 2 different colored eyes because he got in a fight when he was like 16.
Shit,
the dude punched him so hard that it like fucked up the fucking cornea or some shit. Whatever the back of the eye is. The retina. Okay.
Yeah.
And like the way the light reflected off it is all janked. So,
that's
like,
awesome. That's fucking
his
sick.
iris went from blue to like yellow.
That's fucking
like
metal,
one,
dude.
Like bluish greenish eye and one just like yellow eye.
That's fucking awesome.
I know.
Oh my god. I always thought it was just like colored contacts.
No.
I thought he was just doing like the Michael Jackson only wearing one glove. Like I thought David Bowie was just doing one colored contact where it was like that yellow.
No, he just got punched hard as shit. Like...
God damn. Just got
punched.
Yeah,
and some people are just
hard.
Born with it. I forget if it's like something chromia or some shit.
Yeah, I've seen
some people are born with like 2 different colored eyes, but he just got fucked up.
Yeah, it turns out if you've ever thought people with two different color eyes are cool, just go get punched in the face hard enough that like it fucks your eye up and changes its color.
Well, we could do it to each other.
That's true. That's true. I somehow feel like if we did that, though, we would both just end up with eyes that were black. Like, I don't think that would actually. I don't think
we would have
cool.
to. Well, you have to punch like the temple.
Yeah,
you can't just like punch on the eye.
I feel like that's a horrible idea.
Well, that's how I got epilepsy.
Oh shit!
It wasn't a punch, but like it was a blow to my temple.
You weren't born epileptic. You diagnosed. You contracted it. I was gonna say you
I contracted epilepsy.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't diagnose it. The doctor diagnosed you with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you. Apparently, it was contagious from that guy's head.
Yeah.
You should have gotten your epilepsy vaccine. I'm
just
telling
blew
you
me
this.
so hard.
You should have gotten immunized. That's what you get for being a fucking anti-vaxxer.
Strong.
I'm anti-vax. I didn't get the epilepsy vaccine.
I thought it would make me autistic.
Now I'm epileptic and autistic. Now I just have both. I should have just taken the vaccine. Fuck, dude. Oh, that's great. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. He pushed his wife, or not his wife, his girlfriend or something. She was like fucking nuts. And she leapt like down the stairway of their apartment. And according to him in the interview, it was just to get attention. So he just like walked down and stepped over her body, and he's like, just fix yourself up and we'll talk when I get back.
Oh my god. That's fucking awesome. Dude, I just love the idea that David Bowie was living in an apartment. Like, imagine being like his neighbor.
Yeah, I know. You just fucking live there.
Dude,
well, my aunt lived in Manhattan, and before John Lennon was fucking murdered, she would see him.
No shit, really?
She saw John Lennon a few times, just like on the streets of New York.
That's crazy. How could he go anywhere and not get like immediately recognized everywhere? Yeah,
that's how she saw him.
Yeah, was the massive
crowd of people around one person.
Yeah, the huge crowd of people.
Yeah,
the way there's one dude walking through Times Square and there's a fucking bubble of people around him just staring and asking for autographs.
Oh, cool, it's John Lennon.
Oh, there he goes again. Just fucking, oh, there he goes. Dude, that must be fucking impossible. Just like, everyone knows where you live because I'm sure there are people just following you around all the time.
Right.
Like, you get to your house and it's like, all right, bye. And everyone's like, what do you mean bye? We live here now too. We actually all live on the sidewalk right outside your house. I can't imagine, like, people that are, like, that famous still living, like, in just, like, New York apartments. You know what I mean? Like, imagine your upstairs neighbor is just, like, David Bowie. It's like, you hear his girlfriend, like, jump down the stairs. You just hear some fucking massive thud above your ceiling, and it's like...
See him just walk out the door. Oh, she's fine.
You hear a massive thud, and then someone slowly walking down the stairs, step over where the sound was, go, clean yourself up, we'll talk when I get back, and then just simply walk to the door and open it, close it, and just leave.
Refuse to elaborate.
Yeah, refuses to elaborate. Just like, fucking, okay, hey, you might want to fix whatever bones you just broke there. Fuck it, I'm out. That's actually fucking crazy.
Like, every single interview with the people that knew him, like, every single one of them without fail mentioned his penis. They're just like, yeah, dude had like a massive cock.
Yeah. It's like that,
okay. We've all seen Labyrinth, we know.
Yeah, everyone has to mention it though. Like, everyone's like, I'm contractually obligated in order to like work with him. It's
it was that big.
He stipulated in the contract that every time that I talk about him in an interview, I have to first mention it. He's got a fucking huge cock. He is packing. So anyway, what was it? What was your question? I forgot. What was it like working with David Bowie? Oh, I feel like I kind of just answered that. Dick is huge. I don't know. Do you need any more? Do you need any more information than that?
His roommate said that he would walk around naked. And it would, and I remember this quote from the fucking thing I read. It would sway back and forth like a grandfather clock.
I mean, listen, if you've got that much dick, like, you kind of have to walk around naked. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, honestly, like, I probably would if I had that amount of dick. If I had, like, that much that it's like everyone who sees it is just like, God damn, I would just not wear clothes. I simply wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't fucking care. Everyone is too busy fucking losing their minds. Like, God damn, has everyone seen this dick? That's actually fucking crazy. What a Sigma, dude. I gotta look into his life and just see, like, if he's crazy enough to be like Walter Raleigh, John McAfee, John Claude level. I feel like if I look into, like, music people, I can probably find a lot.
Yeah.
Musicians tend to be fucking out of their minds, so.
Oh, yeah.
That helps. It tends to be either rich people or, like, musicians, and there's a lot of overlap.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of rich musicians tend to be fucking maniacs. It's all fun and games until I pick some maniac that's, like, actually just a fucking scumbag, like, actually just a terrible person.
Yeah.
Like, at least in Jean-Claude's case, it's like he was a serial murderer, but it was, like, funny serial murder. Like, the murders were at least funny. Watch me be like, in this week's episode of Big Sig Energy, we're gonna be talking about how fucking based and red-pilled Chris Brown is. Just like, what the fuck?
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, my favorite Sigma male. My favorite Sigma male, Offset for cheating on Cardi B and getting her thrown in jail.
That is pretty, yeah.
That's pretty sick. Dude, Cardi B goes to jail and then all of my content just becomes about Offset. Like, oh, she's in jail. I'll just make it about your husband or whatever. I don't know.
In honor of him.
Yeah. It's like, well, you killed the king, so now you become the king. You ruined the lol cow, so now you gotta be one. Do something funny, damn it. I'll just poke you with a stick until you do something funny. No, what are you doing? Beating my ass is not funny. I'm not having fun.
You're retarded. Star in a Fast and Furious movie.
Sing about how wet your pussy is.
Think about your pussy.
Yeah, rap about your pussy.
Star in action movie.
I just follow Offset around all day, yelling at him, just like, when's the song about your vagina dropping, bro? Dude, I'll get the shit kicked out of me so quickly. Dude, wait, then it goes full circle. Then I get him thrown in jail for beating my ass. Then I become the one that I have to fucking harass for content. At that point, I'm just going to be that one dude. I don't know if you've seen him before. Fucking Nikado Avocado. That's basically what he's doing, where he's just, like, killing himself for content.
Yeah. Like all the food challenges or whatever the fuck.
Yup.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. He's just, like, killing himself for views. It's like, dude, that's basically going to be me after I get the shit beat out of me by Offset and he gets thrown in jail for whooping my ass. Yeah, so expect in 2 weeks the mukbang podcast is coming out where I just bitch about everyone and cry and eat food.
Nice.
Oh, that also means I have to be gay. So Nate, will you marry me?
Oh yeah, sure.
Sweet. All right, nice. Now
is he gay?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. Like.
Yeah, I think some of his videos actually has, like, his husband in it.
Oh. Like,
his husband will be in some videos and, like, his husband will, like, slap him around and shit. It's really funny.
Oh.
Basically, it's like he gets him there just to, like, basically have them throw food at each other and, like, insult each other.
What the fuck?
It's really bizarre. I think he's really just like a great litmus test for where the internet is at.
Yeah.
Well, because the internet really started as like the perfect kind of distribution method, basically for jackass type videos where it's like people just pranking their friends and shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's like we've kind of just devolved to one dude eating himself to death while his husband calls him fat and makes him cry. Like,
nice.
This is. I don't really see how
That's sick.
Yeah, kinda. It is kind of sick, but to just like kill yourself for money. I guess that's passive income in a kind of way. I don't know. Is it passive income if you have to work for it and it also kills you?
Yes. I mean, he's just eating.
Yeah, it's true. He's making money by eating food and crying, which I assume is what he would be doing anyway.
Right. That's all I do.
Yeah, I assume that's what his life is like when the camera's off. So, I mean, just fucking turn the camera on and then upload it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess he's monetized being relatable. That and having an OnlyFans, which is even funnier.
He has an OnlyFans?
Of course he has an OnlyFans.
For what?
For pics of his asshole, presumably.
Is he married?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who do you think took the picture, Nate?
Oh.
There's no way he'd be able to get that fucking angle. Who do you think was holding the phone? Yeah, that's what I've heard. I haven't actually looked at his OnlyFans because I really don't want to.
Because why would you? Yeah.
Yeah, I really just prefer to not do that. But
not see his asshole.
Yeah. I've heard other people who have seen it and they're like, yeah, he just spreads his cheeks on his OnlyFans.
Nice.
It's like, holy shit, okay. I guess that's some way to make money, huh? I think that's just a great metaphor for where the internet is going. We really fucking ruined this. We had such a great thing going and we just kind of ruined it.
That's for sure.
We are just racing to the bottom. Every like clip of his videos I see, they're getting worse. Like he is going downhill.
Fucking rough, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. All right. Let's call it for this week.
Okay.
All right. So thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. Hit me up if you want anyone on Big Sig Energy. I will fucking certainly look into it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit. Thank you for listening. See you next week.